JavaScript from beginner to advanced. I hope you are studying the last tutorials where I discussed about loops in JavaScript. We are analyzed the for loop, for of loop, and today we will discuss about another loop, uh, about for in JavaScript. For loop, for in loop is a loop who help you to iterate through objects, help you to iterate through properties of an object. If you use for iterate through arrays, especially a for in is used to iterate through an object. If you have object, don't hesitate and use it for in, because for in is suitable for object. Let's start it to an object, because I say before this loop is fit for objects. We create here an object. We have object person. Person is an object with three properties. First property, name John. Second property is age 13, and the third property is city New York. Each property have a key and a value. The key for first property is name, the key for the second property is age, the city for the third property is the key is city, and the value for the first property John, for the second 13, and for the third is New York. Retain that, keep in your mind that an object have properties that are compound from key and value. Okay, and this for in loop help us to iterate through this property, help us to accessing the key, this now, or helping to accessing the value. These are the value. When to use for in, when you need to loop through object properties through key, when working with dynamic object with unknown key. Okay, let's starting to create this for in loop. For in have syntax for. Let key in array, array is person now, and statement console.log. Suppose we want to access just the key with the backticks, this dollar and key. Let's run this. Name, age, city. Name, age, city. These are the key of our object, but we want to access the value, and for this let's access the value. We can use person of key now with square brackets, because when you use square brackets you access an index, and you have here John 30 and New York accessing the value. Okay, let's analyze this for in. Of course, you can modify here, you can put element, you can put whatever you want. The result will be the same. No, but for a simple understanding, use the key. This is a simple example, but I will show you another example where we use for of, but in with for in. We have a nested object. We have here a nested object, students, with an array. We have an array with objects. In each object we have another object, grades. We have an array of objects, and inside of each object there are another objects with grades. Okay, here I create a loop for iterate through each name, an outer loop, and an inner loop for iterating through grades, through object grades. This console.log is for separating the grades and name, and the output is this. Do you see? The first iterating for let of students. First iterating is with for of. With this we iterate through an array. Here is an array, no? Okay. The second loop iterate through an object, because grades is an object. If I iterating through an object, I use for in. If grades was an array, I use again for of. I use two for of. For of for first because it is an array, and for of for second because this is an array. But in our case it's an object, and I use for in. Student.grade, this is the dot method. Student is the current element, and grade is the object, Okay. Of course that you access this in this manner, manual, with that notation. Console.log student.grade.math for obtain the grades. And I have here a problem because I didn't put a comment. Uncount student is not defined. Okay, no problem. I will put this inside of function to have access of variable student. And do you see we have here the grades. Okay, let's delete this. For of, make a resume. For of is used to iterate over arrays. For in is used to iterate over object. We access value using bracket notation or dot notation. I use here bracket notation, do you see? And I use here dot notation. I use the both method. I tell you before that when working with dynamic object with unknown key should to use foreign. Let's see an example when for example when you create an application, an app should to modify the object. When you modify the object should to use foreign. We have this object, let dynamic object equal, and inside we have an object, yes, with properties 1 2 3 4 properties with key value, key value, key value, key value, separated with points. Okay, let's loop through the object using foreign. For this we use for key or for key in object. No, is the syntax key in name of object is dynamic object, and put here the statements, and here we're accessing the key and the value. Console.log key, okay, and value. Let's see the output. Color red, size large, shaped circle, material plastic, okay. And now let's add new features, add new properties. Let's comment here, add new properties in dynamic object, add new properties in dynamic object. Let's see what happens. We add let's say you dynamically add more properties to the object, price and stock. Also with the dot notation you can add new properties, dynamic object dot price now equal 100 and dynamic object dot stock equal 20. And now let's using again this loop for display the new object with price and stock. Do you see here you don't have the stock and price, but after iterating again with for in, because I have an object I use for in, here will appear price and stock, yes, price and stock. That is all for today. I hope you learn how to use this for in JavaScript. Keep in your mind for in you using when you are working with object. You use for off when you're working with arrays for off, objects for in iterate through key and value. Thank you that you follow me, and I hope you find out this channel helpful. I try in the future to create more interactive video, more interactive tutorial to help you to learn JavaScript in a interactive way and in a helpful way. And I wish you all the best, a nice day, and don't forget to learn in each day. Don't forget to practice in each day. Doesn't matter if you write just one function per day. Keep in your mind that the practice make difference, the consistency make difference. Practice in each day. the coding, and you will see it how your abilities to code will improve in a few months. Programming is not an easy speciality, but if you practice more, if you get more practice, more get more knowledges, get more confidence in your power, and just in this way all uh, all your abilities will be improved. All the best, have a nice day, and don't forget to practice in each day, I don't know, 20 minutes per day. All the best.